Ready? Oh, let me see. Got it. Got it.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. You know it is a special night. You know it's a special night when you got all four on here.
Facts.
No, it was a big night tonight. This was a Harden debut. You know, we did a lot of talking in the last week or so, talking about, you know, if it was if you still don't know. I mean, it's just the first game of the trade. But the first results looks outstanding. Of course, we played Minnesota. Minnesota was on the second night of a back-to-back. You know, Six has been off since before the All-Star break, but he looked sharp. Harden and Embiid looked like they was working hand in hand. Maxey looked faster once he with Harden throwing him the ball down the court. I mean, Harden looked like he made everybody better except Korkmaz. So
and Toby.
And Toby. So. But I mean, it was a good game. I mean, you know, that's the overall gist of it. What y'all get out of the night?
The league has been put on notice. The league is on notice. The league has been put on notice. What we're about to do is about to be something real special. This is why. I mean, I'm glad we got Hart. I wish we could have got it sooner, but nonetheless, it is what it is. He's here. I guess that's why it's important. Or not important, but it means something to be around the league for a while, because the way he kind of came in and was able to just doggone there, dare I say, seamlessly integrate into our flow with Maxey, with B. Trey tried to get, he actually gave Tobias, he would have had 20 assists if Tobias could shoot a lick tonight. All them open shots he hooked Tobias up with. But I mean, it shows you the professionalism, the expertise, and the overall skill set that this dude has. I mean, it was on display tonight. I know I've been critical of Harden game before, like him fishing for the fouls and all that kind of stuff, but he really didn't do that tonight. He just balled. Like, this is the Harden I always said that was special when he just balled. He did his signature step back, got a couple 4-point plays out the deal. He was in his bag, and this is real.
And Harden wasn't nothing forced. Yeah, from Harden, man. It was real smooth. Harden, I said this before. I remember I said this during the trade when they kept saying, when they first traded him to the Nets, Harden and I think it was a coach. One coach said Harden loves basketball, man. He's a great basketball player. He's a smart basketball player, man. And you've seen it all on display. Listen, it's really I can't. The team looked better than I thought they would in the first game, to be honest with you. Besides, I don't know what's up with Toby, but we know who our big three is. It's B, Harden, and Maxey. That's the big three right there. Going forward, it is what it is. Can the bench get tightened up? You know, we just gonna have to rely. We top heavy. We're gonna rely on them balls, man, and just ride this thing out. The rest of the season should be fun.
It should. The game wasn't great, but it was nice seeing Harden at work, because actually he probably would have had about 15, 16 assists easy. Again, like we mentioned earlier, Tobias blew a few of them. And this is his first time working with Tobias. Everybody can't have a great game their first game out. So Tobias do have to adjust to the way Harden plays, and I'm sure he was rushing the shots a little bit. But I have no overall. The game was well played. It seemed like Maxey went to a whole nother level as far as like he was completing passes. Like, I mean, and Harden was finding him. Harden is a true point guard. I gotta admit, because I kept saying that, and unlike Ethan and Ephraim, they try to take credit now, but they didn't really want Harden. They wanted to go with Tyrese Halliburton.
No, I wanted Harden. Remember, hold on.
You wanted Tyrese Halliburton.
Hold on,
that's a lie.
Hold on.
Ephraim
I said I do like the young boys. That's our next point guard for the next 10 years. We in a 2-year window. Remember that. But I wanted Harden at the beginning of the year before he got traded to the Nets. Now let's not sit here and act like I wasn't.
They wanted to give up Maxey. You mean when you wanted to give up Maxey for him?
I was on board just to get Harden. Yes, and so was you. So don't sit here and act like
what. No. My whole argument last year was I didn't want to give up the whole team for him. That was my whole argument. Tell me it wasn't.
I think we all. I think we all conceded if Maxey was in the deal and it wasn't a whole bunch of people, we would have gave up Maxey for Harden. I don't think none of us would have argued, at least last year, about giving up Maxey for Harden. If it was just like Ben and Maxey and maybe a pick or something, I think all of us would have went for that. So you kept saying the extent of everybody, which I agree with. You didn't want to completely ravish your team, but I don't think nobody, when you was not, nobody.
Then who else was important that we was going to trade that I didn't want to give up for him?
You kept saying the amount of people because we talking about Thibault, we were talking about like Maxey Thibault.
Yeah, I didn't want to give up all that. I didn't want to give up all that for him.
That's my point. But ain't nobody say if Maxey was in a deal, it was a deal breaker. Ain't none of us say that. So don't start that now.
I said I didn't want to trade him.
Okay. All right. Anyway, I'm happy he's here. Tim, don't start spreading rumors. I was always on board with Harden. My thing with Harden was, and I'm still concerned how short his tenure is going to be here. I always said I think if Harden comes here, he's going to bounce after this. He's not going to. It's a possibility he still may leave after the end of this year, and that's still up in the air. That's still a possibility. But while he's here tonight, it looked real good, and I think it's going to continue to look good throughout the rest of this year.
Hey, Clarence Carter, I did see Young MC at the halftime show. I was watching it. I sent them a clip of it. Whew, that boy, I guess he done bust a bunch of grooves or something because, I can't talk. I done put on a couple pounds too. Yeah. But I did see Young MC. I did see their halftime show. But it's a bunch of people in here saying, and I agree with y'all, it made Embiid, that looked like the easiest 34 points Embiid has ever scored. Like it was so much. It was to a certain point. It was so easy for the Sixers tonight, and I get it. It's Minnesota, and we know all the circumstances around it. But it looked so easy that the Sixers at one point, I'm like, "What are y'all doing?" They was up almost 30, and it was like Harden fed beat the Chris pass to Embiid. He wide open in the middle of the paint. He just looking for somebody to pass. They was passing the ball unnecessarily. Like it looked like they was trying so hard to get, especially like Korkmaz. It looked like they was trying so hard to get him in like him and Danny in the groove or whatever. But I'm just saying
that's what I want to say.
They was trying to force it. Yeah, Isaiah Joe should be.
It's contagious and it makes your team better. So can you have too many passes? Can you have too many passes? Yes. But to see B looking to pass and wanting to pass is a good thing for the team, man. Get everybody. Remember, we're stroking the first quarter.
No. I agree that it's good. I'm saying it was at a certain point, and Doc called the timeout because this is exactly. It was like 2 or 3 possessions. They came down. They passed up empty shots, just throwing the ball around, and the shot clock almost ran out. Doc was like, "Ho, like, come on, we still got to play to win." You know what I'm saying? And that's when Minnesota started to cut into the lead. But that's just to say how easy Harden's passes was so crisp. I don't even care whatever. I gave Ben props for finding people and getting the pass. Ben's passes ain't never looked as crisp as Harden passes was looking tonight. Harden passes on the money.
I think at this point Doc needs to change his rotation a little bit and put Isaiah Joe as one of the first players off the bench and not the boy Korkmaz, because Korkmaz stinks. I mean, couldn't even think about it. James Harden couldn't even make him look good. And he was missing everything. He was missing free throws. He was missing everything that he threw up. He was missing. And then Isaiah Joe came in and he started stroking at the end. I know it was in garbage time, but he still was hitting. So I would just like to give him a shot playing alongside Hart and see what he could do.
No, I agree. I'll say this. This stat is very telling. And I agree. Minnesota coming to back-to-back. Sometimes you had them hot nights. So this isn't everything, but this is a lot. We shot with Tobias shooting 22% and Niang shooting 25%. We still shot 51% overall as a team.
That's really
I agree with Wayne. Like when you got a point guard who makes everything easy, and this is why. I hate to go back, but I want to make the comparison. When y'all Bulls was trying to kill B for having the turnovers and a couple bad games in the Atlanta series. This is why me and Wayne kept saying when your point guard melts down, and Ethan.
Don't say Wayne.
Wayne was saying the same thing. But when your point guard melts down, it makes it harder for your big man to be successful in scoring and passing the ball. Why is Beat even possessing the ball that much where he's going to have 8 turnovers? All that kind of stuff like that. So but that's what we see here now with a true legit point guard. And this is why I said too, and this is why I also said Maxey to me looked better in the shooting guard role. He was getting money. Maxey could be eventually blossoming or maybe a Ja Morant slash like not that good. I don't know, but just where he passes the ball as well. But I think he's better as a scorer coming off the ball. The next Harden setting him up to go into the hole. He running the floor. It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. I'm telling you, this is the start of something nice. Yes.
Maxey
I told you he's better as a scorer. He's better as a scorer. That's what he do.
I think everybody knew he was better as a scorer.
Let me address him with Brandon Stokes. Brandon Stokes. I'm not up here lying. I wasn't a killing trade. I said the trade. You said this a while ago. The trade did make us better, but I would like to have a point guard for the next 10 years, a legitimate. But we got Harden. We got Harden for a year or two, hopefully.
About 4 or 5. I mean, you trying to act like Chris Paul. You trying to act like Chris Paul right now isn't dominating as old as he is.
No, we don't know if Harden's staying for one.
Harden's going to stay.
I think he's staying.
I'm leaning now that I see this attachment he has with Morey and how, and it all depends on how this thing ends up playing out as well. It's a stronger possibility than I first anticipated he might stay. I will have to concede with that. But there is still the possibility that he may leave. It's not etched in stone. But if I was a betting man, I would more so bet that he's going to stay.
No, I agree with that. But I look at a few variables with that. For one, the fact that Harden didn't want it out that he wanted to be traded because he didn't want the perception of him keep forcing trades out tells me that that's something in his mind. He don't want to be known as being, as Ethan just said, a team hopper. So that the fact that Morey and the fact that he said himself, Philly was his first choice. We had these discussions before. Remember we were saying Harden wanted to come to Philly, and some people were saying, I'm not necessarily talking about this chat, but I'm saying people were saying, no, he wanted to go. He always wanted to go to the Nets. He wanted to go to the Nets and play with this, that, and the other. And it was like, then when you come to find out, Houston just didn't want to trade him to Philly. Harden wanted to come to Philly. Houston didn't want to send him here. So we'll see. But it do matter how everything unfolds from here. But I think when Harden went to the Nets, I think that one of the things it looked like to me is Harden didn't want to have to carry a team by himself. That's why he didn't want to be in Houston, in my opinion. He didn't want to have to try to carry a team by himself.
I don't. Yeah. But I think with Harden,
he knew
Go ahead.
He knew that he could carry a team. He just didn't want to do it anymore, especially knowing that to win a championship, you need other great players. But just to, I know you threw the stats out earlier about we shot over 51% with them three. Just with Tyrese, James Harden, and Embiid, the three of them had 89.63% shooting, 17 assists, and 20 rebounds. Just among those three players. So I don't want to hear about Tobias Harris being the big three. Sorry, Tobias Harris is the big
I don't care. I don't need him to be. If you got Tobias Harris as your fourth best player, I'm good with that.
Yeah, my thing is, what I like about this lineup, and this is why, depending on injury and all that kind of stuff like that, we should end up in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm going on record to say it right now.
No excuses.
Because even with this lineup, outside of Embiid and Harden, to be told, to me, the third spot is interchangeable. To buy tomorrow or next time we play New York, Tobias can have 27. You know what I'm saying? And Maxey can have 15. So my thing is with the way this team is built, and I think Mark Greenwood said it early in the text, he said Harden puts everybody in their natural position, and he really does. So now with the way this team is built, bro, if we don't end up in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I'm not trying to get caught up over in a moment, but it just looked so good in this short period of time. You talking about the first game they played together and it looked this well. We'll see as we run into harder teams and teams start trying to scout us and do different things against us, how we go from there. But I'm impressed the league is on notice.
This what I like about the Bull Harden too. And this is the difference having a real point guard. He knows when it's time to go ahead and make plays. You know what I mean? You've seen him in the beginning. He really wasn't. He looked a little past, but he was trying to get B going. So everybody's giving B the ball. He's trying to get B going. But he knows when it's time. All right, let me go ahead. It's time to do this. It's time to do that. You know what I mean? Set this person up. Set this person up. And this is what I've been saying we was missing though when we started the season was a real point guard, man. a true point guard.
Mhm.
Maxey, if like you said, Maxey's in natural position. But man, I'm excited to see where we go with the rest of this year, man.
Hey,
I heard
hey,
the
Jimmy.
tickets is up 200% for the home game.
Yeah, Jimmy J. We already said that we understand that we understand that it was the Wolves on the second night of a back-to-back. We understand all those variables, but no matter what, as a team, we know Embiid is talented. We know Harden is talented. We know Maxey is talented. We know that Tobias has some things to offer as well. The whole issue is people were questioning if Embiid and Harden could coexist and play together. And we seen that. We seen them run the pick and roll where Harden fed Embiid and was getting Embiid easy looks. We seen that. We seen Harden. Sometimes we forget because we talking about Harden being the floor setter. That step back three is murder. Could you imagine now down the end of a game of a tight game, you can go to Embiid on a one-on-one matchup, or you can go to Harden taking somebody off the dribble, and either Harden could take him off the dribble or pass it, or Maxey beating somebody off. We got so many options on offense in our starting lineup. I still would like to improve the bench, but it ain't about who they play.
Kyle Korver's teaching Ben to step back three.
That's what
I'm waiting. Yeah, let's wait on that.
Oh, Jimmy J is in here. We got Jimmy J in the chat hating. Jimmy J says he must be a Nets fan. He said y'all never going to get 30 from Harden and B and Maxey again. And
how about y'all never going to get 30 from Ben ever? How about that?
Yo, you know what? I gotta give B props. B from this first game, B is really playing very unselfish with Harden. You know what I mean? He's letting things come. He's how he be demanding the ball from like Max, and he's letting it come. And I gotta we'll see what happens down the stretch.
That's because Harden is a star. He's a superstar. So he can't help. He can't do what he was doing before. He can't act like he's the big dog. It's two big dogs on the team now. So it's not like he had a choice.
But I think he wanted that though. I think he and Harden both wanted. They both want somebody with comparable skill set. Whereas because that's what you need. You need more than just one player to be that. You need two guys that could be an alpha male, but that can coexist. That's what you need on the team now.
Jimmy J, I give you props. Jimmy J said he's a Celtics fan. Listen, actually, the Celtics is playing incredible right now.
Look nice.
I want to see the Celtics again now. Bring them back now. Line it up.
Yeah.
You don't even got to kill on the record. Bring them back now.
We got fair. We got a fair way.
No, I don't think we play them again. I think we played all our games against the Celtics.
Mark, why are you hating? Mark, why are you hating?
But Mark said, he said, Tim, shut up. Yes, Tim, Tim wanted Ben. But this is what I'm saying. Herb, Tim, DMNA Leach, if you still listed underneath another name, all y'all boys wanted to die hard with Ben. No, I'm telling y'all, this is his year. He finally gonna do this. We don't need nobody else. So listen, on Hart and Tim, this one podcast. Shut up.
I'm giving I think we still would have been balling with Ben, but it's a little different with James Harden.
Wait, with Ben instead of James Harden?
No, I said we still would have been balling, but I'm just saying with Ben, with Harden, it does take us up.
It's 180 degrees better than
it is. It is because offensively, Embiid would not be scoring this easily. He's been scoring easy, but not as easy, bro. Remember earlier in the season when we was talking about stuff like when people like Embiid need to get in the post, he always outside, and I kept saying when you see him sometimes he's dug down deep in the post and the ball don't come in there. You didn't see those passes getting missed with Harden. You saw Harden zipping those passes in there. Half the time, Embiid didn't even know what to do with it at first when he first called it. Like he ain't used to getting the pass right there when he's like as he's getting open in the middle.
Yeah, tonight is not the night for me to be arguing.
I'm gonna go on record right now to say this: there will never be a night in Nets history where Kyrie, Durant, and Ben have a 34, 28, 27 night.
Is Ben ever going to 27? 27 what? 27 what?
Points. B had 34, Maxey 20.
Wayne is a hater because Wayne.
That's not.
You ain't have to turn on that boy like that.
No. My whole thing is I've never seen Ben. I just said Ben Simmons is what he is. He's a good defensive player. I think he's a very good defensive player. And he's a good facilitator and he pushes the ball. That being said, he scored
over 40 points against Utah last year.
Man, that was a fluke. Harden, and guess what? He scored 40 points per season, and he still averaged like 14 points a game for the season. So that tells you how much of a fluke that was. But that being said, he's not on Harden type level. Harden makes it easier for everybody on his team. It looks easier for them.
I agree.
It does.
I agree with Michael Edwards in the comments. Shout out to Michael. What's up? He said older alpha, younger alpha. That's why they going to work. I agree. I think this is why I said, remember, if y'all was listening earlier in the year, I said the reason why Golden State and Phoenix are so good is because they drafted well with younger and older players and got them meshing. That's why Lakers ain't going nowhere. They too old across the board. But if you notice most of the teams that are the top teams in the league have a good blend of older talent, alpha talent, and younger alpha talent. And Sixers now are in that space with the way we got Maxey stepping up. And hopefully we could get something from a more like Cork Maz and some of these other role players and Shake Milton and all them as we get down, deeper into the playoffs and all that. But Maxey, he the real deal. I'm glad we ain't trade him. Somebody said earlier, thank goodness we ain't trade him. I agree. I'm very, very satisfied.
I agree. I thought he was the future.
Button. Hit that
he
like
was
button.
on board with trading him at the beginning of the year, but when he came in this year balling, everybody's opinion changed. So we glad we pulled that trip. And Clarence Carter, I agree. Clarence Carter, I've been saying that. Me and Ephraim over here have been saying about Ben's defense and Embiid. He said the fact that people overlook is Ben's defense without Embiid behind him. Embiid is underrated.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna sit there and start hating.
I agree. I've been saying that. I'm not saying that because Harden here.
No, y'all been saying it, but I don't know if I necessarily. I mean, I do think Embiid makes it better for him, but I don't. I think y'all underrate his defense, though.
I think so too.
I mean, I do. I mean,
we'll see how it look great tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how good it look. I mean, and when I
tell you one thing,
I tell you one thing. The Nets is going to get when Ben play. They going to get as many views. They're going to get not only they fans, but the Sixers fans is going to be in there watching. I don't know. No Sixers fan, if that game is televised, is going to be all over their TV watching this game.
Ben might not
what this dude do.
Ben might not play no more than 5 games this season.
I can agree with that.
He might not play no more than 5 because if he comes back, first of all, he's not coming back before KD comes back because that's going to put pressure on him. He's not coming in to play until KD comes back because if he comes to play before KD come back, all these Brooklyn fans and all these national pundits that's talking all that stuff they want to talk. Well, no, Ben Simmons just brings so much other stuff to the game, but he'll in the back of their mind, they're thinking how a lot of Sixers fans, including me, was thinking at one point, whereas though Ben gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? They're thinking that they're getting hyped about Kyle Korver. He's shooting with Kyle Korver. I went through the one off season when I saw Ben shooting, and I was like, "Oh, Ben's shooting like he's gonna be a top 3 point guard in the league." I said that one year, like about 2-3 years ago, and then the reality came in. And I don't care how great he's shooting in those shoot arounds, he doesn't shoot in the game. And what makes people think that if he's sitting out now because he's saying it's a mental block, because what makes you think all of a sudden it's going to click on him? All right, I'm out Philly now.
Ben ain't here no more. We don't gotta keep
because it is still a part of it.
It is because
it's over.
Because
he's gone.
If put it this way, if it was just about Ben being in Philadelphia, he's happy sitting on the Nets bench now. He's hype. He would be playing for them already. There's nothing wrong with him physically.
It was the stress. Mentally, he was stressed out.
What stress? His stress is relief. He's out.
Tim, what did J Mar say? What did J Mar say to you?
J Mar said, "I'm over here looking mad because we won." He trying to hate. Like I'm gonna be really angry that we look good.
J Mar, let me tell you, Tim was real quiet in the chat. He was waiting. He wanted Bede to mess. He was like, "See, Bede and Toby selling hard passes out." No, like he was waiting to try to find a reason to hate on it, but he couldn't because the Sixers look so dominant.
I've been looking forward to this game all night long because all week long I just been.
You've been looking to hate. You've been looking to hate.
You wanted us to look terrible tonight.
No, I didn't. I'm glad we looked.
Listen, I tell you this though, we as Sixers fans, if we had lost this game, boy, you talking about burn the city down, everything else. we have to fit in like man.
Some of y'all would have.
Ali said Tillman's happy. They said I'm happy, man. About this.
I actually agree with that. Shout out to G Fisher. I know you gave us some love earlier, man. Thanks for the support, bro. Yeah, I mean, love right back at you. I said, somebody said, what the, Michael Edwards brought up Willie Cauley-Stein. Do y'all think that's a good pickup coming?
I think it is.
B.
Yo, underrated pickup who I was is Millsap. I think he's an underrated.
Yeah, I agree.
He played some quality minutes tonight.
That's all we need him for, is about 10 to 12 minutes a game just to get in there, get to play some defense, block a couple shots, grab some rebounds. That's going to be his role. That he going to do it. He going to do as much for us as Ben Simmons is going to do with the Nets.
I'll tell you the one thing the Sixers really do need. They still need that 3-position shooter. They need that.
They developing Tyrese. I mean, Bible.
Isaiah.
I would like. That's why I like to Tim's tweet earlier. I would like to see a little bit more Isaiah Joe now. See what Isaiah Joe could do with Harden getting him.
Bible had more than Harris.
Now Brandon Stokes hating.
I get that.
Herbert,
but
we hating on Tim more than we are hating on waffle colored Ben. Tim earned this.
Oh, they wanted the same. They wanted the same. They pointed to him.
Because you caped up too hard when everybody else realized where he was. You white knighted for him a little too hard and a little too long. So now this is God come at your neck just for a little bit, just for this, at least this podcast, and maybe the next 2 or 3, you're gonna get that work.
But Ephraim, to your point about Cauley-Stein, I think that, and there's a couple people mentioning it in the chat too. We were talking about it. I think Cauley-Stein could catch those oops. All right, that's like it was one of those plays. It looked like Harden was throwing B to oop. B was like, "No, I don't do the oops." He just grabbed the ball, brought it down, and then put it back up and laid it up.
Yeah, that's
true. Like, no. Like my tendon's not built like that. But I think Cauley-Stein. I actually would like to see Paul Reed get a little bit of burn with him at certain times. Like I just wanted because Paul Reed can get up and catch a oop and stuff like that. And I think that, not saying that he will be this great player, but I do think that in certain spots, I think Harden just makes his basketball IQ is so high. I think he makes everybody, because we forget sometimes how young a lot of the Sixers are. You know what I mean? Besides, that's why we was hype about Danny Green and the center last year, Danny Green and Dwight Howard, because they were vets and coming to help them. But we got so many young players. But now we're looking at it. You got somebody with the mindset of Harden. And these dudes look like they ready to learn from Harden. You see Tyrese Maxey, like after everything. You even seen Embiid and Harden after the game. Like when they both came out, they on the side and they discussing and talking about stuff.
I agree. Even when and that's what I kept saying when I was, and I'm gonna have to keep going back. I'm not apologizing for it. This is the difference between Harden and Ben. When I kept saying Ben is not a floor general, you could see Harden communicating even after plays where he wanted people to be at. They coming and talking to him. He's saying, no, wait, boo, boo, boo. You know, whatever he's saying, just to make sure that he helped run the offense. They understand him, what he like to do, what he's seeing, where they need to be at, all that kind of stuff. This is the stuff that you don't get from Ben. Ben passed the ball well and accurately. Like
he wasn't a floor general.
Yeah, when he drove and he could see you and kick it, okay, you right there, but he wasn't the setup dude. And that's why I always said when y'all asked me who I thought was better, Ben or Draymond, I said Draymond. Because Draymond, even though the games are similar, Draymond was a floor general. Draymond, he commanded the offense. He told people where I want you to be at, so forth and so on. That's why he could average 8-9 games. But
we don't gotta tear down Ben just to build up the Harden.
No, we just doing it.
We're comparing our point guard position.
That's what we're doing. That's all we're doing, Tim. Why you mad? You all right?
Don't act like we wasn't comparing Doc and Brett because you comparing what you had to where you made your improvement. Hey, listen, real quick, it's funny too, because just saying about the improvement, right? So Danny Green was being interviewed. You know, everybody knows, Danny Green. I'm not mad at Danny Green about the stuff he was saying. He playing the role how he got to play it. As a teammate, he's supposed to try to help his teammate and do whatever. But now that the ball gone, he's saying how he really feels. But it was funny because they asked Danny Green something about the trade, and he was like, "Well, he said something along the lines of with Harden that the Sixers was better." And then he tried to backtrack it real quick, like, "Yeah, good and well, where Harden that like." Harden is one of the top. He's a top 75 player of all time, still playing at a high level. How could anybody be upset that we gave up Steph Curry and Drummond for that?
Tim is still mad. He happy mad. He more mad than he mad happy. But you know what's gonna be worse for Tim? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna be worse for Tim. When Ben finally plays 2 months from now, and he actually still stinks it up, and he's still the same Ben. Tim Hart going to drop. It's going to be glorious because this is why the trade had to be made, despite Tim's love for Ben and still thinking he's going to play. Ben is going to be what Ben going to be. I'm convinced. I'm not.
Ben going to be sitting on that sideline. He going to be sitting on that bench with his face and his ears going to be just as red as my hat. Like he'd be sitting over. You know, when he got that look on his face where you know he like feeling that pressure.
Yo, this game, it could be a good catapult to what we're going to see going forward. And obviously, we're going to run the tougher competition. We're going to run the game where everybody don't shoot as well. Harden ain't going to get 2 4-point plays and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? He might go 1 for 5 for 3. So it's going to happen. I'm not, oblivious
we
to
got
the
a
fact
juggernaut though.
Basketball.
Our offense is a juggernaut though.
It is. That's the thing.
I know it's only one game.
That's the thing. But you got so many spots to hit you from. And like I said, with everybody, and like Mark said, with everybody in their natural position, I've been saying Maxey's a better shooting guard. To me, you got a better passer from a point guard position to hook it up. I'm telling you, Tobias going to have a good game with Hart. Him and Harden going to have one of them games where they click and Tobias going to drop 25 or something like that.
To that point, I honestly, it kind of looks like Harden. I mean, we know Harden is the floor general, but it's almost like Tobias to me tonight actually looked more aggressive on the shooting. Like how a lot of times, like when Tobias get it looked like he always trying to drive and this, that, and other. But it looked like it was a conscious effort of catch and shoot. Like and I think that's Harden telling guys like that's even like the last game before the All-Star break. They said how what's the name? Minivan Niang had went to drive to the basket, something, the ball got knocked out of his hands or something. And Harden said, you a shooter, shoot the ball. Mm-hmm. And Niang proceeded to shoot 5 for 10 from 3-pointers at that game. But I think Harden exudes that. And again, there's only one game, and I think that they could actually grow and get better together. And like you said, it's going to be tougher competition, but just off of face value and looking at it, you see where he makes everything so much. The way they scored tonight looked easy, bro. Like it really didn't look like a struggle. Like even when Harden, like at certain points, like we were saying how Harden was dishing the ball, he was like, okay, let me go in here and score now. And he go down the lane and shoot the his little floater, running. That dude's just like whack.
Yep.
Then the cross was like, let me step back 3 him. Like, but come on, man.
This game kind of the way our offense moved for like a true point guard kind of is irritating because last year at the trade deadline, Morey had a chance to get Kyle Lowry and he didn't. And I think we probably would have been able to get to the NBA Finals if we had a true point guard and Kyle Lowry didn't let Ben play his natural position like the dunker and to do the other things. But you see that we are, like y'all could be saying, we was missing the floor general. Like Ben gives you the assist, and he gets a lot of assists, but that floor general, this team could have went farther than they did if he didn't make that decision last year, in my opinion. I think we should have went after Kyle Lowry if we had to get a picker. Why not?
You gave up that pick. That pick is one of the things you used to bring what's his name in this year.
You could have got. No, I'm just saying you could have did something else to get Harden. Harden was coming regardless.
But if you didn't give up the picks, then you would have had to give up another player or something. I'm fine with everything they did leading up to this point.
Last year, because my belief now is we might have been able to win a title last year with Kyle Lowry.
So you think you would have been able to bring Kyle Lowry in here, Harden in here with Kyle Lowry's contract? Because then Kyle Lowry, didn't he have to get signed to a new contract in order for him to get traded somewhere?
No, he got signed for. They don't. That's not. He got signed.
What they signed him for?
In the off season, we could have let Kyle Lowry go at the end of the basketball season if we wanted to. We could let him go.
I mean,
no, you couldn't have, because Kyle Lowry said he did not want to be traded unless somebody was going to sign him for the next season. That's what Kyle Lowry said. That's how come he came off the trade market, because Kyle Lowry said he wanted to finish out there in Toronto for the season if he wasn't getting traded somewhere and getting signed to a new contract at that moment.
I mean, Toronto, I don't even think they made the playoffs last year. So why would he just want to go?
I'm just telling you what he said. If I'm not mistaken, that's what he said. He did not want to be traded somewhere unless they were trying him.
You got to fact check that. So Miz said the stats say Simmons' win share versus 6'3" guards are in the negative for his career, aka overrated. This is what I've been saying, Miz. I agree with you. That's Wayne and Tim and the rest of the people who don't watch Ben Simmons that much. all the first thing they say is he's a shutdown defender. I think the only ball Ben ever probably really put the clamps on effectively that was a top dude was probably Luka Doncic.
I don't think I've ever called him a shutdown defender. I think he's an outstanding defender.
I'm talking about most. I hear that phrase used when I watch Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, and it's always he's a shutdown, lockdown.
You said Wayne and Tim. That's why.
Okay, I mean, but I still think y'all say you. I think one time you used the phrase "great defender." I don't think he's great.
I do think
great to me is pretty much shutdown. That's lockdown, right? I mean,
do you think Thibauld's a great? Do you think Thibauld's a great defender?
Yeah, I think Thibauld's a great defender. I think he get on people and lock them down. Thibault can get on people and lock them down.
Thibault, people get past Thibault a lot too. Thibault get a lot of pokes from behind and everything else. Though.
We in the NBA, people gonna get by you. I'm not saying nobody never gonna get by nobody, but lockdown means you're gonna have a tremendous amount of success against a number of people. I think he can do that.
I think Thibault and Ben is comparable on defense.
Oh, I think Thibault way better than Ben. I've been saying this when everybody was saying Ben. I always thought Thibault was
6'10" Pat Beverly.
And
what's Thibault? A 6'5" Pat Beverly? Like, you know what I mean?
Which would call somebody said, hey, Mark said if this game would have went left, what would y'all say? Thank goodness we won't have to worry about that. We won't have to worry about that, Mark.
If we'd have lost, to me, it's about how it would have been. Like I honestly, I feel as though Embiid and Harden are that good. They're both MVP caliber players. So to me, if we lost, if it was certain other stuff going on and we ended up losing, it depends. I still would. I'm happy that they look like they're vibing as early as they are right now, because you expect there's going to be some growing pains. But the way they came out, they look like a well-oiled machine already tonight. So
and that's what Doc said it's going to be growing pains, but he said they still got to win in the process. They still got to win as they grow as a team. And so far so good. We play the Knicks on Sunday afternoon at 1:00. So hopefully we can get another win and then just keep gelling together.
Hey, I agree.
Far, so good.
Ms. said, "What's the game plan versus the Nets?" He said, "Let KD cook and sell out on Kyrie, or try to make Ben a decision maker / scorer." I think you do the same thing Atlanta did to Ben, and see if he learned anything. You sag off him on defense and you foul him when he to get down in position to make any type of easy shot, and set him to the line and watch him fold and see if he learned anything. That's what I do. I give him the same exact Atlanta treatment.
Yep, I let him get open, get the ball, and then hack him. But hey, Tim, just to let you know, so Tim, Kyle Lowry signed a 3-year, $90 million contract. So if you was going to sign, right, but Kyle Lowry said that he didn't want to be traded anywhere unless he was getting his contract was being signed. Remember, that's the whole thing we was talking about, and you were saying, give him the money. He was saying he wanted at least $20 million a year.
All right, let me ask you this question. A lot of people saying in the chat Kyle Lowry cheeks, and I mean he trashed, and they didn't really think that he would have got us a championship anyway. But somebody Herman said on paper Brooklyn's better. But this is a real team. Got to give props to Doc. Do y'all agree with that? Do y'all agree on paper Brooklyn is better than the Sixers?
Brooklyn got a lot of names. I don't know if they better.
What's the lot of names they got?
I mean, I like the fact that they do got Patty Mills, Kyrie, Durant, Ben.
Okay, put it this way, right? If I got to go with it, and I say, even if you say Kyrie, first of all, I think Embiid and Harden is better than Kyrie and Durant. But even if you want to say that's a wash, those two. Then after that, who's your next best player? Ben and Toby about the same, or Ben and Maxey?
Ben is a slight edge
over who? Over Toby. Okay, so then what? So what about Seth and Maxey? Who are you taking on that?
That's about the wash.
I mean, I'm not agreeing. I mean, I'm not saying we far and away. I'd say we better, in my opinion.
I think so.
I'd say we better.
They still got Drummond. They got better role players than we do.
I'll agree with that. That I do kind of agree with. The role players maybe a little better. Right now, we'll see what the new James Harden could do with some of these role players, because Doc is going to start putting, like he said, that he probably went with the all bench lineup because it was turned to a route. but he said he's going to have all the starters, or at least one starter or two starters in the game. So with Harden working with Shake Milton, working with Isaiah Joe and all them, you never know. I mean, you see how he elevated Maxey game. Now, Maxey was already on the rise, but he actually put a little extra gas in. He fueled him up on that premium petrol. Now, Maxey looking like he about to, take the league by storm, even when James Harden get up out of here. So maybe he could do the same thing. I don't know if nobody help Korkmaz. Korkmaz might be just his with him. European players peace out, and that's where he at. But if anybody can help Cork, it's James. I'm convinced. Somebody said in the chat real quick that Tim is a fraud. They said he growing his beard out, so when Harden ball out, he could always say he was a Harden fan. I think it might be Tim sneaky like that. Tim sneaky, like I can see that. Somebody said, I forget who I wasn't giving you props for your comment, but that's true.
That was so much hate.
Hey Charlie M, I'll take the Sixers starting lineup against the Nets starting lineup right now. That's what I'm saying, and I think the role players is. I mean, Joe Harris showed signs of at certain times balling, but then other times he looked like trash, especially in the playoffs. So I would take the Sixers. I think the Sixers have a better team right now than the Nets do.
So they starting Kyrie, Seth, Durant, and Ben, and then they got the ball Aldridge. You like that better than
Aldridge is lineup? Yes, I like our lineup.
Yeah, I like our lineup better. Yes.
First of all, because there's nobody that can match up with Embiid on their team. Now, I mean, we don't really got nobody that can match up with Durant, but you can't tell me I could throw Thibault on Durant to make stuff difficult a little bit. Durant's that type of player where he's going to get what he's going to get. But I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even put Thibault on. I would just put Thibault on Kyrie and make it hard on Kyrie.
Kenneth Anthony said Sixers and Warriors might be the only team in the league that have 4 starters that could score 30. I actually will put Phoenix in there too, but I do agree with that statement. I think
who's Phoenix 4 starters that scored 30?
Whatchamacallit? Ayton. Yeah, I think Ayton scored. I'm not saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying average. I'm just saying if he has a good night, he might be able to drop. He might be able to give you 30. He might be able to give you 30. Ayton, Chris Paul, Booker, and the young boy that we supposed to have, Mikal Bridges. I think they could give you 30. Or Ayton might be able to give you 20, 25. Maybe
they said Ayton scored in 2018. They said he scored 33 points against the Nuggets. That's his career high.
That's his career high. I might take Phoenix out of it, and I need you to give me a little bit. I might need you to give me a couple more 30-point games.
Every 4 years. Nah.
Yeah, you might give me a couple more 30-point games. But I do agree with that. I don't think it's many teams that you can have 4 players that can score 30 on your team on any given night. Maxey did it a couple times, and Tobias, B, Harden, that's enough said. So I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
how about 2 players on your team that could drop 50?
I know. Well, they got Clay. I think Clay could do it. What's the boy name? Steph could do it.
Yeah, Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole, and Wiggins. That's 4 right there.
But KD could do it, as can Kyrie, and Ben could do it.
See, my only thing,
okay, that's how we stop. That's the only 2. They got 2.
If you ain't counting Ayton, you ain't counting Ben. But my only thing with Kyrie, and I think Kyrie is a great talent, but I think Kyrie, in my opinion, Kyrie is one of those guys is like an AM on mixtape type game, like where he could cook ball. Like he's strictly like an isolation type dude, though. In my opinion,
Jamar though, Bridges. Look at Bridges' stats. They're actually leading up to the All-Star game. The boy Mikal Bridges been balling. I think he dropped like 27 against us or something. Or somehow, maybe I don't know what game I was watching when I was watching him play. Mikal Bridges actually been balling lately, and his field goal percentage been crazy. He been shooting I think the last 10 games, he probably was shooting well over 50, close to 60% a game. He was playing that well. You pulling him up, Wayne?
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, I do agree with the statement, though. It's not many teams that you can have 4 players who on any given night can give you 30. I agree with that. Now, I might be reaching a little bit with Phoenix, but I do agree that we in a very short list with that.
But I also think the Sixers they play solid team defense. Like even and again, it's Minnesota, so I would love to see this lineup go up against Boston. You know what I'm saying, to get a gauge of you know how that will work. But I'm looking at just I don't know, man. They even on defense, they look like they was around and everybody was moving the right way and everything else. But again, Minnesota played last night, so I'm curious to. And that's the one thing we do know: the Knicks play hard defense, so we'll see about the Sixers offense and how smooth it moves and looks against the Knicks. You know, I don't know. I know the Knicks
had 30 tonight. We had 30 assists though on 42 baskets. That was
outstanding.
Awesome.
Yep,
it was. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Y'all got any final thoughts before we get out of here?
When we play again, I know we
play the song, Mark. It's like, let me stop.
When the song, I mean, when the song.
Sunday at 1
Mark,
o'clock.
it's on the 6th, the 76th.
Yeah, that
Sunday at 1.
Sunday at 1.
All right, that's perfect. I'm ready for that game. I'm all in. I can't wait. To see this thing going forward. Knicks is a pretty good test, though. I like that. They're solid teams with good defense. That's going to be nice to see how we look against them.
They playing like trash right now. I'm waiting for them to play a real good team. Have we played the Knicks again on Wednesday?
What's one of them back-to-back type situations?
Yeah. Then so probably not until next week after Friday. I know who we play Friday. But
hey, so is this the new standards tonight? We in third place now? 2.5 games behind Miami and Chicago.
Yeah, we came in third place.
Oh, did we? Okay, so that was coming into the game.
Yeah, so we pretty much held serve. But all right, so don't forget to hit the like button, hit that thumbs up button if you are new to the.
There you go, right there, boy.
You are new to the channel.
Go, Mark.
Mark, subscribe. All right, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
See y'all Sunday.
And listen to the Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. Yeah. We out, y'all.